everybody. My name is Victor. Victor is what you may call. Well, you may call me Victor or Victor. I don't really mind either. Victor is my real name. Victor is my nickname. So, this is the first episode then of our podcast. Well, an introduction of what the podcast will be about. More like it. I might have guests in the future. I don't know. I am planning on mostly having it be a solo thing though. So, yeah. That would be fun. The podcast will mainly be about D&D stuff, because it's a D&D podcast. It will be stupid of me to start talking about flowers and trees. But, yeah. So, I will begin with giving an introduction to who I am. I already told you my name, but I will do it again. My name is Victor. I am a dungeon master. I have been for the past 6-7 years. I've played a lot of games. I've had a lot of fun. And I just want to talk about D&D stuff. Like my characters and who they are, my world, what it's about, how I run my games, that kind of stuff. This is the first podcast I will ever be doing. So, sorry if I'm awkward or quiet for too long amounts. I just want to create this. I want this for both help me with talking, to help me as a person grow. So I think I should probably give an introduction to what rules I go by. I use most of the classic D&D rules. There's a couple of homebrew rules and stuff like that, but the minor rules of the game, how to play the game, that I won't go into. What I will go into is the rules on by my table. I have rule 0, the classical rule. The DM can at any time they choose summon a great red worm. And that's mainly for stuff like if the party decides to start going murder hobo. There's some people who think murder hobo is fun. And I don't deny them that, right? I just say not at my table. Rule number 1. These are the serious rules. Try to keep metagaming away. I can't blame you for doing it subconsciously or forgetting for a second, but at least try. That's like my main rule. Try to keep your metagame away. Then we have rule 2. When we are in a session, my words are the law. And you may come with suggestions and such about what would happen, what should happen, how I should do something, but not. No, it doesn't work like that. You should do this and this and this instead. Keep complaints for after the session is done, unless it's a I misunderstood something you said kind of deal. Because if it's just mechanics and stuff like that, keep it for after session. So we don't clog up and other players feel awkward and that kind of stuff. Rule number 3, one of the most important rules, no harassing other players. You should you should understand why I have that rule. Rule number 4 is swearing is okay as long as it's not in extreme amount or aimed at other players. Like, you swear is okay. I personally don't swear. None of my characters swear. I don't even know why. Like, it's not a rule my parents ever had. I just never did. And never have. So, it kinda just never happened. I have no problem with people swearing, and I have no problem with characters swearing. I just don't want it to be in extreme amounts, because... yeah. Rule 5 is, if you have a question, ask me. Because how can I help you with and answer your questions if you don't have any? If you don't ask them. Rule 6, if a player for some reason can't show up to a session, they shall inform me, or in worst case inform another player, so we don't wait up for them. I think that's pretty understandable. Rule 7 got added. No Crocra or other races that gets permaflying, because permaflying is overpowered. Unless I feel like actively having each dungeon being in a literal dungeon. No forests and stuff like that. Sure, it can be useful, but like, if you have one character that can fly, you don't need so many other characters. They can do anything, and they will do everything, because why shouldn't they? Rule 8 is if any of these rules sounds confusing or you do not agree with them, talk to me. We can come to an agreement. No need to go around being angry and sad in vain when I am here to listen. Rule 9, you can always come to me with suggestions. Rule 10, we will probably start at 6 p.m. Swedish time, because I am Swedish, as you might have noticed on the accent. I've been told I have a thick one, and I apologize for that. And it is both planning sessions and game sessions, unless otherwise stated. And I set that time mainly so we don't argue about what time we should start. It's a defined time. If you can't at that time, but can later, we might start later, but yeah. Rule 11 is no firearms, because none of the sessions I've run so far have guns. But I will also use this platform to talk about sessions I want to run, and few of those will have access to guns. But more about that in later episodes. Yes, I just hinted at future episodes that I have yet to record. Aren't I daring one? But yeah, that's my rules. I like to think that I'm a fair and kind DM. But if any of my players want to say that I'm not, feel free. I don't mind. So, I should probably start talking about... I'm currently running one D&D game. I'm almost always running D&D games that I have... worlds that I have created. I don't think I've actually ever run a pre-made D&D thing. So, I have this world... Well, not the whole world, but the region my players are in is run on a guild system. They are all part of one guild. Each player have 6 characters, and before each quest, we roll. They all roll a 1d6 to decide which character they are bringing with them. And I think that's a pretty fun system. We haven't gotten super far. They have completed one quest. We are about to start another one this Saturday, so that will be fun. And the guilds have, quests, notice boards, stuff like that. So that's how they get quests. Might also get quests by talking with NPCs and stuff, but that's for later, when they have gotten deeper into the lore of the world. There are quite a few number of guilds. The area they have to move on is pretty large. Like, it's I would say about the size of Europe. That's the area they have to move on. Maybe a bit larger. Which of course means it will take time to travel to further places. But currently all the quests they have are near the beginning area. Except the hard level ones that they shouldn't pick, but are there to symbolize that they can grow. And I have done something special for each guild, and that is I have based all the guild leaders on a cool character like Silco, Macaro, King Radley, Hirsen, Miriam, All for One, Yamamoto, and Whitebeard. The characters are not direct copies, but they are they are inspired by them. And the world has a deep history and a deep lore that I won't be going into here, because I will bring it up. I will talk about it when my players discover it, that kind of deal. But for now, I actually want to end this podcast with talking about one of my characters that I've created. I've created 30. Well, I've created a lot more than 30. I've created 30 NPCs for them to interact with, to bring on missions and that kind of stuff that are part of the guild with them, and their level in the guild. I have created a great 30. I've already said that. But I guess I will talk about one specifically now, and more in later podcasts. Because this one, it has a quite easy story. Like, he doesn't have a deep one, so it won't take a lot of time to talk about. It should only take a couple of minutes to get into it. Because, we don't want to have the first episode of the podcast going for too long. And I don't have infinite of battery in my laptop. So the character I will be discussing with all of you is Pesitaria, but as he would say it, you are allowed to call him Percy. Now, he is one of my favorites, mainly because I've never actually used a character like him. He's a tabaxi, he's youngish, but he is a noble. He's a paladin, and he's an oath of glory one. He believes that he is above everyone. And he is not evil or mean in any way. He is neutral good. But he is not the best at showing it. He is an a-hole. Like, he's a jerk. He he will save you and expect a thanks. Expect repayment for his great deed. And respect is in his eyes deserved for his position, for his blood, his lineage, and his greatness. But he has the dream of being a hero to the people. But in his eyes, the world revolve around him, and he does not so secretly believe that everyone is beneath him. But he has inferiority and superiority complex. And I just love him because it will be very fun. So yeah, that's a little of Pesitaria or Percy. I've created a character introduction for each of my characters. I will actually read his. It's a pleasure to you to meet someone as great as me. I am, as you of course already know, the great Sir Pesitaria, though close friends may call this one Percy. I am the greatest warrior in the land, and I'm also one of the richest. And as your eyes can tell, I am also the most beautiful, handsome one in the land. So yeah, he's fun. I'm looking forward to when he gets to join an adventure. But yeah, this has been Big's DnD Fix, and I hope to catch you in the next episode. Have a good day.